So I wanted something that sort of presented more of a daily challenge, like learning something new, and this is what the accountancy field has brought for me. It's like there's so much changing all the time, and there's so much to keep on top of, and there's always something new to learn. No matter how much you think you know, there's always something else that you discover, and it's like, oh, I didn't know that.
So, Violet, a warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us today here on My Business, My Customer from Bob Expo Media. So, tell us about yourself. We know that you're a mother of four, which is the best part, but tell us about the other stuff, the business.
I'm a mother of four, and that's part of my motivating drive for starting the business, actually. I've actually quite recently left work. Even though my business is still pretty young, I left work so that I could focus as much time as I can on the actual business, because I wanted to provide that much more flexibility for my work-life balance. So I thought the only way to get that for myself was to become fully self-employed.
Fantastic. And that's what we're going to talk about, that journey and how you've got to where you are today. Tell us about your business. What is your business? And
so my business is bookkeeping, which, as I've recently found out, not a lot of people know fully what bookkeeping is. Some people that have been in business for a while know it. If you tell them bookkeeping, they'll be like, oh yeah, sure. But some people just, I've had somebody say to me, what is that? Like, well, what exactly is it? And I think what I do is I give businesses peace of mind by making sure that their financial records are in order, right? Before they hand it over to the accountant for year-end processing or,
January deadline.
Exactly. So that is what I do.
Yeah. So I can imagine it's a busy time for you at the moment. It's panic stations. Everybody's suddenly realized January is around the corner. They need to get their books in order, ready for the 31st of January. So
yeah.
You'll be inundated, I'm sure, even after this interview as well. So now, this is not something that you've always done. You've taken a completely different career path to where you started. Tell us how the whole journey began to where you are today.
So my background is actually in care work. When I had my oldest daughter, who's 14 now, I went into care. It was a family friend that helped me get the job. And I went from working in supported living to working with adults in the community, to then working with children with complex needs in the community. And then I think while I really enjoyed care work, I found it not challenging enough. So I wanted something that sort of presented more of a daily challenge, like learning something new, and this is what the accountancy field has brought for me. It's like there's so much changing all the time, and there's so much to keep on top of, and there's always something new to learn. No matter how much you think you know, there's always something else that you discover, and it's like, oh, I didn't know that. So that's how I ended up going into accountancy instead. I also wanted something more of a career, whereas care work felt more like it's like a nice job. You can do more hours, you get more money, and it's really well paying care work as well, and rewarding. But I wanted something that builds, and I think accounting was my chosen field.
And it seems that throughout this journey, your driving force has always been your children and what you can.
It has always been my children. Yeah, it has always been my children. I'm very family oriented, and I think with everything that I've tried to do, it's always sort of, how is this going to impact my family life? There was a very brief period when I stopped working, to raise my 4-year-old son. So I've got a 4-year-old son, and when he was born, I didn't go back to work until he had already hit 2, and that's when I kind of went back to work because I thought, okay, I wanted to just take time out, evaluate, and see how I'm going to proceed going forward. Because, like I say, it was just always I wanted to be there. And part of the reason I've left now as well is because my youngest is 18 months. And I found that being in work, I didn't feel like I was giving him enough time. So I thought I want to be there for him a bit more. So work from home.
And you took that leap.
I took the leap.
So at the time when you were going through that change and you were thinking, okay, I love the care, it's good, it's rewarding, but it's not who I am. There's so much more to what I can offer in a different field. What was that transitional period like? What did you have to go through in terms of speaking to your employers, coming to the terms that this is the end of this career, because you start to look at it with rose-tinted windows and ask yourself, am I doing the right thing? And to making that decision and taking that leap.
Oh gosh, it's funny you should say that because I think it was a similar process to what happened just recently as well. So I think when I left care work, because you form relationships, don't you, with the people that you're working with the families that you work with. It was sort of bittersweet because a lot of them were like, we're really happy for you. We're really proud of you, for making that move. But at the same time, we're going to miss you because of, the service that you gave us. We had like a really good relationship, and it was borderline sort of, do I do half and half? Do I keep just for these people? Do I keep going there as well, or do I? And I think I'm one of those people that likes to be all in, if that makes sense. I like to sort of say, okay, well, I'm just gonna jump right in, might as well. If I do half and half, I give myself so many excuses, So leaving care work was a bit, will I manage? But before I left, I'd started a course, like an introductory course into accounting, just to see if I would like it, So that's how I discovered that, oh, actually, I like this. I like the numbers. I like what this is doing. So let's go all in and see what happens next. And then this job that I just left as well, similar story. I've been there for almost 3 years. I think it was my first official sort of accountancy role. And I've learned so much from them. The company was like a family. It was a small, medium kind of size company. And everyone had so much information and so much to learn from them. So leaving, again, was very much like, I don't want to leave. But at the same time, because I started up my business about a month ago, and in that time that I was sort of trying to do both, I found it to be quite stressful. So I was like, I can't focus on the business as much as I need to if I'm still doing this as well. So this is why, and you know what they said to me? They said, well, you've always got a home here. So if you find this not working out for you, you can come back. So at least I know I've got somewhere to go back to.
That's a safety net. Very fortunate. But however, do you feel liberated now? Do you feel that you're free to do who you are, to express yourself
Yes.
in the best way that you believe you could?
Yes. I think yeah, the word liberated sounds about right. I think there's a certain freedom in knowing that I'm managing my time. Like, I'm responsible for managing my time. I'm responsible for making sure I get done what needs to get done. But at the same time, I can also choose to say, you know what, this is overwhelming. Maybe not now, put it off for later. And there's not anybody coming back to me sort of saying, have you done it yet? Needed to be done now. Like, if that makes sense. Well, obviously there's the client. But it's a little bit different, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and your children get you full time.
My children get me 100% now, and I think I like it. Though the children drive me crazy, but
It's all worth it.
It's definitely worth it. Yeah, yeah.
Now, I mean, to take these steps and to, do these things, it takes a lot of faith and understanding, and to know, that you're doing what's right for you and your family. But I suspect that, you've had sort of support environment that helped you to be able to make these decisions. Has that support been there growing up? Or were your parents always encouraging you to take risks and to go out there and step out in faith?
Funny enough, I think I've just always been someone that takes risks anyway. My mom is a bit on the opposite side. So like now when every time my mom's always sort of like, oh, you're always changing jobs. You never stay in one place. And I said, Mom, that's not fair. Like, let's look back at this and see why I changed when I changed. You know what I mean? It was always for a new challenge. But my mom is very happy to stay in one place, and sort of, however, I've got two younger sisters and they've been so supportive. They always sort of like go for it, go for it. We'll back you and we'll, help promote you as much as we can. Ultimately, it's down to me to do the work, but they're there for me. So yes, I think I've got that support frame.
Fantastic. And tell us, in terms of, your day to day, how does it work? How do you take the kids to school and then you come back to deal with clients? And yeah, how does it work for you?
So the joys of bookkeeping is that because it's mostly a lot of it now is remote, can be done remote, so I can do it from home. So much like you said, I take my kids in the morning, and when I come back, then I've got my time to focus on the actual sort of the balance between client work and then the business side of things, which I'm finding quite interesting, is compared to when I was an employee and I just went in and did the work. Now there's other bits that I need to make sure are done and up to date as well.
Okay. So, and that's it. Everything is on you now, isn't it? And you've got to schedule your own time and, of course, prioritize workloads as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I've also found a brilliant community on Facebook of other bookkeepers as well. So they're also quite supportive with information, with tips, and just, and encouraging, just general day-to-day encouragement, when you feel that overwhelm of, oh, I don't think I can do this. And they're always there to sort of say, yeah, you can, just push through it. So it's a lovely new experience. And I think not a lot of people, I've met people that have got ideas, like business ideas, and they think of starting a business, but then they're like, I don't know if I can. And I think at some point, now that was me, I was just sort of like, I don't know if I can. This was actually meant to be a side hustle. It was just supposed to be something I did on the side for a little bit of extra money. But because of all the steps needed for me to get this side hustle up and running, I was like, this might as well just be a business.
You go,
I was like, I
go
might as
hard
well
or go
go all
home.
in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So talk to us about this community that you found and the importance of it, and how, for anyone watching, listening, how being part of a community can add value and help them with their business.
So I think for a lot of people, especially if you're doing remote work where you're going to be at home, it's just you. When you go out into the office, you've got other colleagues and stuff. But I suppose even with COVID, a lot of people have had to sort of work from home by themselves. It's very nice to know that you've got a community you can tap into, you know, create friendships, create working relationships with those people. You can ask questions much like you would in the office. Most things are virtual, Zoom, Teams, whatever, but you've got those people that you can just reach out to and have that support. I think it's brilliant for your mental health as well. You can have other people to interact with. If you're just working and you've just got clients to talk to, and there's a certain relationship and boundary that you can't cross, really, is it? So it's nice to have somebody that's on the other side with you if you had we wanted to have a moan about a client, you know, and say, oh, I can't believe this is what I'm having to deal with. You got somebody else that can say, I completely understand. So I think regardless of what industry it is, I think it is important to find that community and have those people that get where you're coming from, that understand, that can help you celebrate your wins. If I went to my mom right now and I said, oh my God, I got a client that's, you know, doing this, my mom's just sort of like, oh, okay, so how many more, you know, or something like that. Whereas in my community, they'll be like, yay, a client. It's just one client, but they know the significance of that one client, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to have somebody that gets it from your point of view.
Yeah. Again, you know, you've put it so eloquently, you know, the importance of having that support there and a different voice, someone that understands what you're going through. They're in the same position. They can relate to you and you can learn off each other as well. So it's really important to have that. And I'm glad you're here to provide that sort of advice for the audience. How did you find this community? Did you go out searching on Google or what was the process?
So, you remember how I said this was meant to be a side hustle? I had a colleague at work because I said to him, well, I want to do this bookkeeping thing. And he's like, well, I don't know, you can just go on Google, you know, and just, I'm not Google, Facebook, and just look for business groups, right? So, I don't know, me being me, I looked for bookkeeping. I'm like, I want to do bookkeeping, so I should be looking for actual business book. But the first thing I checked was bookkeeping, and you know, this group came up, and I thought, oh, this looks interesting, right? And I went into it, and I mean, I can't lie. Initially, I was sort of like, this isn't what I wanted because it was just a community of other bookkeepers. I was like, I want businesses that need bookkeepers, not a whole lot of other bookkeepers. But then I discovered hidden gems, like so much information, so much. And I was just like, whoa, it was a happy accident. You know what I mean? It was literally a happy accident on my part. I was like, wow. And interestingly enough, the group is, I think, just over a year old as well. And it's growing. It's literally growing as we speak. There's more people finding it, you know, just like this. When I meet other people that are in the industry, I tell them about it. I'm like, you should check it out. You know, there's lots of tips. And it's funny because we've got a running joke on there where it's like normally people would say you stay away from other bookkeepers, you stay away from accountants, you know, because it's competition, isn't it? It's people that want the same kind of clients. And actually it's been the opposite. It's like the more we've come together as a group, we've come to understand that, yeah, sure, we all want clients, but there's loads of businesses. So that means there's loads of clients. There's more than enough for everyone, you know? And as it turns out, everyone has got different specialities and different industries that they niche into. So my client might not necessarily be attractive to somebody else, you know? And if anything, people actually go on there and they say, I had somebody reach out to me, but they do this, and I don't deal with that. So does anybody need any clients? And you know, people pick up and they say, yeah, you know, pass them my way or whatever. So it's been phenomenal. Yeah.
Incredible. So not only can you pick up new clients from the group, but also best practice as well. You get tips and advice and how to grow your own business. So for anybody, again, watching, listening, this is an important lesson to learn, to reach out and find your tribe, because they will help you to flourish in your business. So tell us, what are the plans for the future? What can we expect from you, Violet? What's going on?
So I've got plans to hopefully get a bit more qualified. Right now I am an AAT level bookkeeper, but I'm hoping to get like a senior management accountant qualification, and quite possibly grow more confidence in offering those services. I was doing it at work, so I know what to do. But there's a certain, like, your confidence shrinks so much when you decide to go it alone, because at work you had that support, isn't it, where someone can look over it before it goes away. Now it's 100% you, and you kind of think, you doubt yourself for a little bit, you know, you'd be like, can I really do this? And but yeah, I think just growing that confidence and growing the business, basically.
And getting a mentor as well in that group.
Getting a mentor. There's so many people that have got so much more experience and are so friendly. So there's loads to pick from. There's loads of mentors. There's loads of people to sort of say, oh, help, can we work together? But yeah.
And for our audience who want to pick on you and your business and your expertise, how can they find out? How can they connect with you?
So my business name is Violet Bookkeeping, and that's my tag on Instagram. So you can search up Violet Bookkeeping. The same on Facebook. I also have my website. It's called violetbookkeeping.com. And yeah, Violet Bookkeeping. It's just all things Violet.
Fantastic. And what final words would you like to leave our audience with?
To anybody with a business, you know, I think when you get to the point where it's overwhelming, don't leave it too late. You know what I mean? Reach out for help, whether it's help with your social media or help with, your bookkeeping, but just reach out for help. I'm here. I'm a very energetic, very friendly, approachable person. We can talk about it. So feel free. But yeah, no, I think it's really important to not let things overwhelm you. It's always good to sort of have that helping hand nearby.
Absolutely. Violet, you're incredible. It's been a joy talking to you, and I love your energy. I love the fact that, you took that chance on yourself and you said, I'm all in, and I'm doing this not only for myself, I'm doing this for my children, for their future, to give them the best that they can possibly have. And yeah, absolutely brilliant. So I just want to say a huge thank you for that.
Thank you so much for having me. I've also started teaching I said to my daughter, my 14-year-old, I was like, I want you to come up with a business idea. Because I think something I've come to realize, I heard it said somewhere, someone said, our parents raised us the way they were raised, so the way they knew to raise us. So nobody actually teaches you to run a business. They teach you how to be a good employee, and I was just like, well, maybe let me just shake that up a little bit. I said to my daughter, come up with a business idea. Let's see what you can bring to me. I was like, let's see if we can make you a business person. Let me give you the option of being your own boss as well as getting a good job, So I think that's one thing to do.
Incredible. Best advice you can give for your child. You're amazing. Thank you so much,
Thank
Violet.
you. Thank you so much for having me.
If you want some amazing inspiration, check out the videos next to me, and I'll see you right there.